I just started recording. So this is a video about how to program the drum machine. And Ricky, you should stop me if you have questions, okay? So the drum machine is right up over here, and it's the one that has the little red, orange, yellow, and white dots on it. So if you just double click on that. Boy, it keeps on opening up this. That's kind of annoying. But that's fine. We'll get rid of this too. All right. And so this is the drum machine. Ricky, have you used one of these before? Have we done anything with this? Okay, you've tried to. All right. That's good. So I'm just going to kind of like zoom in on this so you can see. So each one of these is a different instrument. So we have a bass drum, which is going to be the thump. The snare drum, which is maybe not a clap. You can add some tom-toms in there, but I think really the most helpful one is going to be, it's probably like the hi-hats over here. You know, basics of a drum set is a thump drum, the snare drum, and those little crispy hi-hats. The way you select them is, I find it easiest to click on the name, but notice as I click on the name, this little red light moves around. And also this little wheel moves around too. So you can do it from the wheel. You can click on the light itself, or you can click on the word. I find it most helpful to click on the word because I'm always reading it. So that makes sense. And let's start with this. Okay, so when I'm doing a bass drum, we always want the bass drum to be in a real simple beat. We can put it on 1, which is really the first area of red here, and 9, which is the first area of yellow. And if I just press play on that, I mean, you can just hear thump, thump. When I click on snare drum, notice I don't hear anything because I haven't lit up any of these buttons. But now I have the snare drum selected. And I'm going to add it a 5 and 13. Sounds like a real basic beat. Whew, sorry about that. Got me. Okay. Now this beat that I just created, we're going to be doing it again and again. So, and I noticed that these are selectors. We can have different patterns. We can like switch back and forth between different drum beats, which is what we want. We want to have like a little variety for our drum beats. This one's selected to A1. And in order to get this thing working properly, I'm going to create what's called a pattern track. And notice that I right-clicked or 2-finger clicked, and down here I have, it says TR-808, and it says pattern. And if I use my pencil tool and I just write anywhere, it says A1. Okay, what this means, I'm just going to press play on this. I'm just going to like show you. Whenever it has that box down there, it's playing, and whenever it doesn't have the box, it's not playing. That's pretty easy to understand. And so I can have like little breaks in my drum beat. I can have them start and stop. How are we doing so far, Ricky? Good. Okay. So that's a good question. What do the colors mean? Now, the colors for me, oops. I did undo. For me, I change the color anytime I think it's a different idea. So let's generate a new idea and then we'll change the color for it. So let's say if I want to have an A1 go, and then I want to have and there's going to be a little break, and then I want to have a different beat happen. So I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to switch the pattern to A2. Okay, and I'm going to move this around a little bit. Hey, look at that. So now this says A2, and look at this little knob. And now there's this big blue box around it. This says this is being controlled by this lane right here. This says A2, but like these are both orange. And I have a feeling when I'm looking at this later, like, I don't know, like the colors are just going to look the same. And I want this little A2 to be like, kind of like a different thing. So I'll go over to the color. The color doesn't mean anything to the music, but it means something to me. So now I can see I have an A1, and then I made my A2 red so that I know that it's different. Especially when I come back like next week, right? So now I have my A2, and oh, my A2 is blank because I haven't put anything in it. See, it's playing, but here nothing. So I actually have to go in. Anytime I switch over to a new pattern, I have to kind of start. So I'm going to click on bass drum. I'm going to make a 1 and 9. Click on snare drum, 5, 13. And then I'm going to click on my hi-hat and closed hi-hat. And I'm just going to make some random numbers. Okay, so here's my A2. The only difference between that and this just had bass drum and snare drum. Oh, we have a little blank area. And I had a bass drum, snare drum, and I added this little hi-hat pattern. What exactly it was, I don't know. I just clicked random I just clicked random buttons. I clicked hi-hat and I just lit up a couple of these. And that's okay to do that. For this third one, I'm going to switch pattern. I'm going to make it an A3. Reminder that it's going to be blank. And because it's a different idea, I'm going to switch the color too. I'm going to make that one a little bit more purpley. Okay, and I have to do the same thing. I have to click on bass drum. Oh, hold on. A3. Okay. Click on bass drum. Click bass drum is 1 and 9. Snare drum's going to be 5 and 13. Maybe I'll do a little 13 and 14. What do you think, Aubrey? That'll kind of spice it up. And I'm going to do another random hi-hat pattern. I'm going to light up a couple more so it's a little bit more exciting because A3 has to be more exciting than A2. I know. Ooh, like those doubles? That's kind of cool. Double. And then I'm going to add, I'm just going to add one more little element. I'm going to add, this one's called hand clap. And I'm going to add just a few hand claps. One little element. And then imagine this. You make another box. You call it A4. You make it a slightly different color. I mean, like once you kind of get the idea here. Uh-oh. I kind of messed up. Oh, it was highlighting them. That's why. Switch pattern to A4. Switch the color to pink. And I just go through the same process. But make sure that every level is a little higher. Bass drum. Boo-doo-doo. Maybe instead of a double, I'll do some triples. That's fun. Let's hear how those triples sound. That's kind of cool. And then I'm just going to load up on hi-hats. Just fill it all up. I'll add a little cymbal. I'm going to add some cowbell. Let's see how A4 sounds. This should be a level up. Off-brand jingle bells is what my daughter says. And so, Ricky, now I want you to listen to all 4 of these beats. Here's my level 1, A1. Super basic. Add the hi-hat. Oh, type in the name. Do you mean A1 or do you mean the side over here? Oh, the side. You just double click. TR-808. Drums. Yeah. Good questions, by the way.